You're not behind because you made bad financial decisions. You're behind because you keep making reasonable ones. Just a little too late. Not reckless, not careless, not even wrong, just delayed. You tell yourself, I'll start next year. I'll take investing seriously once income stabilizes. I just need a bit more clarity first. And honestly, that sounds responsible, calm, measured, thoughtful. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one says clearly. Waiting one more year is not neutral. It feels neutral. Nothing breaks. Nothing crashes. Your life looks fine, but under the surface, something is already compounding. Not your money, your delay. And delay doesn't show up as a loss. It shows up as absence. The absence of growth. The absence of momentum. The absence of becoming the person who already started. That's why it's dangerous, because you can't feel it happening. There's no alert, no warning, no moment where reality taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, this year you waited. It just cost you more than you think. So you do it again, one more year, and again, until one day, it's not 1 year anymore, it's 5. And that's where this starts to hurt. 1. The illusion of I'll start when things settle. There's a version of you that feels very logical. The one that says, let's not rush this. Let's do it properly. Let's wait until things calm down a bit. That voice feels smart, grounded, almost disciplined. But pause for a second. When has life ever truly settled? There's always something. A new expense, a new goal, a new uncertainty, a new reason to wait. So what you call waiting for the right time is actually just waiting for a moment that doesn't exist. And here's the deeper layer most people miss. You're not waiting for the right time. You're waiting to feel ready. Ready enough, confident enough, certain enough. But money doesn't reward readiness. It rewards participation. You don't get paid for thinking about investing. You don't build wealth by understanding it deeply. You build it by being in the game. Even if you feel slightly unsure, even if it's not perfect, even if part of you thinks, I should probably learn more first. Let me ask you something. Just sit with it. How long have you already been about to start? Not planning, not researching, not watching, actually starting. Because for a lot of people, that phase lasts years, and it feels productive. But it's not. It's just comfortable. 2. The silent cost of lost momentum. Let's make this simple. 2 people, same income, same intelligence, same opportunities. One starts today, the other waits 1 year. Now fast forward 5 years. Do you really think the gap is just 1 year? No. Because starting early doesn't just give you time, it gives you momentum. And momentum is everything. The first person learns by doing, builds confidence through repetition, gets used to volatility, stops overthinking small decisions. The second person, still preparing, still thinking, I'll get into it soon. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. The second person doesn't just lose a year. They lose emotional familiarity with money, pattern recognition, decision speed, self-trust. And those things compound faster than money. That's the part no one tracks, because you can't see it in your account. But you feel it in your hesitation. You feel it when you second-guess everything. You feel it when small decisions feel bigger than they should. And over time, that gap becomes identity. One person becomes, I'm someone who invests. The other becomes, I'm someone who plans to. That difference is subtle, but it changes everything. 3. Lifestyle inflation quietly locks you in. Now here's where people get caught without realizing it. You tell yourself, I'll start when I earn more. Sounds fair. So you work, you grow, you level up, income increases. And then, life expands with it. Better apartment, better lifestyle, more convenience, more comfort. Nothing extreme, just upgrades, reasonable ones. But now your baseline is higher. So instead of having more room to invest, you have more obligations to maintain. And suddenly, I'll start next year becomes, I'll start when things stabilize again. But things don't stabilize. They adjust, then expand again. So now you're not just delaying. You're building a life that requires you to keep delaying. Let that sit for a second. You've created a system where your future gets postponed, so your present can feel slightly better. And the wild part? It doesn't even feel like a trade-off. It just feels like life. Normal. That's how this trap works. Quietly. 4. The discomfort moment. This might be you. Let's drop the filters for a second. You already know what to do. You're not confused. You're not unaware. You've seen enough, read enough, watched enough. You know, starting matters. Time matters. Consistency matters. So this isn't an information problem. It's a behavior gap. And behavior gaps are uncomfortable because they force a different question. Not what should I do, but why haven't I done it yet? That's a harder question because the answers aren't technical, they're emotional. I don't feel ready. I'm worried I'll mess it up. I want to do it properly. All valid. But here's the part that stings a bit. You've gotten used to the delay. It doesn't even feel urgent anymore. And once something stops feeling urgent, you stop acting on it. That's the real danger, not ignorance, not lack of money, comfortable inaction. So let's make this real. No theory, no abstraction, just a quiet question. If nothing changes, if you keep thinking the same way, if you keep waiting just a little longer, where will you actually be in 1 year? Not where you hope to be, where your current behavior leads. Sit with that, because that answer, that's the real cost. Here's the shift that changes everything. Wealth isn't built by people who feel ready. It's built by people who start before they feel ready, and then stay consistent long after the excitement fades. That's it. No magic. No secret strategy. Just time applied early enough. Because money doesn't reward intensity. It rewards duration. How long you stay in the game. And right now, you're either in the game or watching from the sidelines, waiting for the perfect moment. But perfect moments don't exist. Only decisions do. Let's reframe this in a simpler way. Your goal isn't to be perfect with money. Your goal is to reduce future regret. That's it. Because 5 years from now, you won't care that you didn't time things perfectly. You didn't optimize every decision. You didn't know everything at the start. You'll care about one thing. Did I start early enough? And almost everyone answers the same way. I wish I started sooner. Even people who started late. So instead of asking, is this the perfect time? Ask, will I regret not starting today? That question is more honest, more useful, more real. And here's the calm truth most people overlook. Starting is not dramatic. It's not a big moment. It's not life-changing in the short term. It's small, quiet, almost boring, which is why people underestimate it. But over time, that small decision becomes everything. Because once you start, you think differently. You behave differently. You see opportunities differently. You stop overthinking things that used to paralyze you. Your identity shifts. And once identity shifts, consistency follows naturally. So here's the fork in the road. You can wait 1 more year. Nothing bad will happen immediately. Your life will feel the same. Comfortable, predictable, safe. Or you can break the pattern now. Not perfectly, not aggressively, just intentionally. Because the moment you stop waiting, time stops working against you and starts working for you. And if this feels slightly uncomfortable, good. That means something clicked. That means you're seeing the pattern. So don't let this become another moment where you think, yeah, this makes sense. And then move on, because that's just another version of waiting. And you already know where that leads. If this shifted how you think about time even a little, then the next step isn't more motivation. It's awareness. Because the real problem isn't obvious delay. It's the kind that feels safe. There's another video on your screen. What looks safe is costing you years. Watch that next. Because the things that feel harmless right now might be the exact reason you're not moving forward. And once you see them clearly, you won't be able to go back to thinking the same way again.